me out on this one. Shakespeare, I have no idea of what you're talking about. Yeah, somebody help translate that one. The big building behind the boats over there, that's the old Alabama Hotel, now condos. The homes that sit to the left of it, these are on a road, another good drive too, called Via Tuscany, which runs into Alabama. It's now the first house, used to be the second. It was modeled after a house in Tuscany. It's called Villa Toscana. It's really one of the favorite homes in town, and boat houses certainly. And it was built in 1927. The reason it's now the second house is they bought their next door neighbor's house to the right about a year and a half ago and tore it down so their kids would have a bigger yard to play on, about a $9 million yard over there. But the house to the left of it, the black shutters, is actually the oldest house back here, which is 112 years old. And they own the whole cove. It was their orange grove when they built it. And then two doors to the left of that, the house with all the columns architecturally looks pretty old, and that one's 12 years old. So it's just a great blend of old and new. This all glass house in front of us, they built 3 years ago and didn't want a boathouse in the water because it would have blocked their view. So look to the right of it. Yeah, that's their boat garage with a track that takes your boat out.
Right there, yeah.
You know, another great question, but you would think with the money here that there'd be a lot of celebrities. There really aren't. And the reason there aren't is because you can drive by everybody's home. So the Tiger Woods type, they want the privacy of a gated community. And you know, we've had a few basketball players. Steph Curry's brother, Seth, just bought a house here, but not a big one, because he married Doc Rivers' daughter, who is from here. And so they wanted a house to be able to stay in when they come to see Callie's mom. And so Callie's mom lives on this lake. Talking about old and new homes, wow, it is windy. This house to our right, which was modeled after a house in Venice, is actually a little bit of old and new. The original house, 105 years old, is the left side, where those pineapple windows start. And I mentioned it was modeled after a Venetian home. The walls for the first 60 years went into the water like it was in Venice, and then they put a lawn in 40 years ago, and then 10 years ago, they put the right side on. And then 7 years ago, they bought their next door neighbor's house to the right and tore it down to build what's now their pool house. That's why they look the same. And the original house, the left side, we talk about too, because Tom Hanks used it to represent a scientist home in a movie. It was 27 years ago. It's called From the Earth to the Moon. This, yeah, that one over there. So when he filmed it, it was just the left side. It was just the original house. Yep.
Yeah.
Little canal to the right goes to, well, it looks like it goes to a different lake, but it doesn't. So that's also Lake Maitland on the other side. What you see to the left of the canal is an island separated by that water, which was land that was too low to build homes on until the 1920s. So they sandbagged the perimeter to backfill it, make a 12-acre island today, 11 homes, and some of Winter Park's more expensive land. So that's it's called the Isle of Sicily. Little cypress tree off its shore. That's a pair of osprey moved in about 3 weeks ago. You can see one of the mama sitting in that nest. So they're ready to have some babies over there.
That roof made right there, how it dropped down. You see it?
Talk about tearing down homes and building new ones. This is North Park Avenue where they just tore two down. 6 months ago to build these. And then you talk about kind of more famous people. This modern house in front of us, behind those big cypress trees, pretty much directly in front of us, has a spiral staircase. Got a lot of press when they built it 30 years ago for a couple of reasons. It was the largest house on the Chain Lakes then, not close anymore. But it also started off with a basketball court inside because that was Horace Grant, who played for the Magic. And who was really tall. He designed stuff in that house like light switches and countertops way up high. The guy that bought it from him he also had a basketball court in the house, but the guy that bought it from him was really short, so he lowered everything and made the basketball court a ballroom. And it's only had one owner since that guy did the ones that live there now. And when they bought it about 6 years ago, they put everything you see on the roof, because it was always flat, and they put these 2 spiral staircases because they put a rooftop bar and lounge up there. And that architect I mentioned, James Gamble Rogers, and pointed out a couple of his homes. He also built up a classic white one for some folks in the middle of the Depression that weren't depressed. And then probably the most famous owners were the Packards from Packard Cars. A long time ago.
Slow, 'cause,